China has just unveiled the world's longest sea-crossing bridge ever built, and it spans more than 34 miles to connect mainland China with Macau and Hong Kong. This is called the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge, and it took almost a decade to build. It cost around $20 billion, and it contains as much steel as would be in 60 Eiffel Towers. So it really is an impressive piece of engineering. But the bridge's purpose really goes far beyond just allowing China to showcase its innovation and engineering capacity. It's also an undeniable symbol of China's increasingly ambitious geopolitical goals. This bridge stands really as a physical manifestation of China's sheer determination to tighten its control over Hong Kong, over the South China Sea, and beyond. It was about 21 years ago now that Great Britain handed Hong Kong over to China, and the people of Hong Kong were very uneasy about that transition. For more than 150 years, they had been totally separate from China, culturally, politically, and in almost every other way. And at that time, they were very afraid, and understandably so, that their very prosperous city would be swallowed up by the authoritarian government of the mainland and lose all of the distinct features that had made Hong Kong such an exceptional place. But China promised that Hong Kong could stay highly autonomous for at least 50 years. For that time, the Chinese said Hong Kong could maintain its economic policies and basically call the shots for themselves. And in the early years, China kept that promise. But within a few years, signs emerged showing that China really had no intention of truly allowing Hong Kong to remain autonomous. The Chinese began insisting that Hong Kong be governed only by individuals who were pro-China. China even began to pre-approve any candidates that were allowed to run in elections for Hong Kong's highest civil position. And Chinese agents even began to enter Hong Kong and abduct certain individuals who were not towing the Communist Party line, including one of the territory's most powerful billionaires. The people of Hong Kong protested, but nothing came of it. It became clear that Beijing would not budge, and that China was the only real authority in Hong Kong. It's clear now that the cherished freedoms that distinguished Hong Kong from the rest of China are disappearing. And with the new bridge now providing China one more powerful way to assert control over Hong Kong, many analysts are wondering how long it will be before the territory is fully assimilated into the authoritarian mainland. China's intensifying drive to control Hong Kong is due partly to Hong Kong's strategic location right at the confluence of the Pacific Ocean and the South China Sea. This means that Hong Kong functions really as one of the sea gates that allows access to the South China Sea. In the July 2016 issue of The Trumpet, Editor-in-Chief Gerald Flurry highlighted the way China's tightening hold on the territory has aided in its efforts to rule the South China Sea. He wrote, quote, "Britain actually gave the South China Sea prize of Hong Kong to the People's Republic of China in 1997. Now that US military presence in the area has been drastically reduced, China is claiming the entire South China Sea as its own." Mr. Flurry explained that this development was of great significance in terms of Bible prophecy, and he mentioned Genesis 22 verse 17, which shows that the people of Great Britain and the United States would come to possess numerous sea gates around the world, which allow access to and control over vital shipping lanes. And then he also mentioned Deuteronomy 28 verse 52, which says that the US and the UK would later lose control over those sea gates and see them handed over to antagonistic nations. Britain's handover of Hong Kong to China was a terrible development for the British people and also for the people of Hong Kong, and that is more evident with each of China's increasingly authoritarian pushes against Hong Kong's autonomy and with each of China's efforts to further integrate Hong Kong into the mainland, such as the new Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge. To know what to expect from the increasing power and ambition of Xi Jinping's China, please read Mr. Fleury's article, China is Steering the World Toward War.